Meet Wendy, a busy project manager of the new Project Mega something. She needs to stay on top of her game with a good, no wait, awesome project management dashboard. In this video series, let's help Wendy kick ass at her work by creating a fully interactive, dynamic project management dashboard using Excel. Here is the final project dashboard we will be making. This video is part 1 of the journey. Wait, let me tell you a secret. That is not real, Wendy, but the dashboard is real. Let's go. The Gantt chart forms main component of our project management dashboard. Let's take a quick look at what it can do and then understand the process for constructing it. Here our Gantt chart displays 2-level detail, the category of the project activity and the activities themselves, along with who owns the activity, what is the start and finish date of the activity, and how much progress has been made. It also visually indicates which activities are completed with the green tick mark. You can drill down this Gantt chart to look at activities that are assigned to a specific team. For the purpose of this example, I've put 2 teams and I can go into an individual team to see the activities that are assigned to the team members and their current status. The yellow colored bar here shows the current date and it will give you a visual indication of which activities are ongoing as of today. It also displays the overall project plan for 60 days with the view of current day, previous 13 days and the next few weeks. This is all dynamic, so if you open it in a future date, automatically all of this will be adjusted and the activities will move forward as needed. Now let's go ahead and build this one from the blank data file. Here I have my blank file which has the person data as well as the activity data. Oi! You can download this Excel file from the video description below or the cards that are linked up there. Now these 2 tables form the core of our Gantt chart logic and visualization. Before we proceed any further, let's go ahead and link up the person column here to the owner column there because it's the same data. Go to data ribbon and click on relationships, and from here make a new relationship. Select the table people, person, and then activities, owner, and click OK. This will create a mapping relationship between the people table and the activity table. Let's build the necessary calculation worksheet for our Gantt chart. So I will add a new worksheet, name it as calculations, inserting pivot table. Because we have already linked the tables, the pivot table creation defaults to workbook's data model, which will feed on those 2 tables that we have already linked. So I'll start by adding category and all the activities within each category. So we'll get like a 2-level hierarchy, and then I'll put start date and end date here. First up, I'm gonna change my pivot table design to an outline format so that category and activity take up separate columns. Next, I'm gonna right click on the start date and then summarize this as minimum start date so that we'll get the earliest start date for each activity. We'll summarize this end date by the maximum. Finally, I'm going to add subtotals at the top so we can see for each individual category itself when is it that we can start it and when does it end. The next step is to define the starting date for our Gantt chart visual. So in a blank cell, type start date and specify today minus 14 as that value. What this does is it will always start our Gantt chart 2 weeks prior to the current system date, and it will give you a visibility of what has just concluded and what is going to happen in future. You can also customize this calculation based on your needs. Let us quickly name this cell. Just select the cell, use the name box in the corner to define the name start date. All the necessary calculations for our Gantt chart are done. Let's go ahead and build the Gantt chart. Start by adding a new worksheet. We will call this as Gantt chart. We would like to show category, activity, person assigned to that, start, end, percentage done, and display the Gantt chart in the successive cells here. So we go here to the cell right above and then link this to start date. Quickly change this to a date format so we could see when our Gantt chart is going to begin. The next cell is going to be simply +1. You could use either +1 or alternatively you can also use the workday function, -1 to pull the next working day. Once this is done, I'm just gonna drag this for 59 times. We will then make copies of these dates with a simple reference value so that we have 2 more rows with the same information. You will soon understand why we need to do this. Then we'll select this middle row of dates, apply formatting on them using the custom format code of D so that it will show me just the day portion of the date. We'll repeat that for this as well, but here instead use MMM so that we can see the first letter of the month. So I can see 18 April, 1st May, 6th May. Now let's go ahead and pull this information from our calculation worksheet. Go back to calculation, select all your pivot table data, copy, Ctrl C, go back to the Gantt chart, right click and then paste as link. So we'll get a link to the calculation worksheet. Category and activity are fine. I'm just gonna select and move this. There are a lot of zeros showing up because wherever the pivot table value is blank, that will appear as 0 here. We can quickly fix this by adding some if condition around it and apply that formula so all the zeros are gone. Now we'll select these 2 columns and quickly change them to the date formatting. We'll worry about person and percentage done in a minute, but for now let's go ahead and create the necessary logic to display our Gantt chart. And it will basically turn the cell into a color if the activity here is happening on that date. We could do this in any number of ways. I'm just going to use the AND formula here and simply say, is this date prior to that date, this date after that date. And let's quickly adjust some of these references. This will become $F6 because this needs to always look in column F. That would be $2. So this would be either true or false depending on whether a certain activity is happening on a date. And then we can just quickly copy paste this for the entire range. Select this entire range, go to conditional formatting, add a new rule. If my cell value is true, highlight it. So we'll use only cells that contain equal to true format fill. And let's pick a color that is not too strong, but still visible. And I can see my Gantt chart coming into shape, but doesn't look like the Gantt chart I showed you at the start of the video. But that is easy to fix. Step 1. We'll make all these true and false values disappear from the cells. Select everything, press Ctrl 1 to format, use custom and type the code semicolon, semicolon, semicolon. This is how you make things disappear in Excel. Step 2, select all these columns and make them narrow enough. Already our Gantt chart is looking great. Step 3, let's go and fill up the person names and the percentage done. Look up the activity in the activities table and get the owner. If there is no owner found because the activity is blank, then we will simply print empty space. Let's do the same for percentage done. Now let's go ahead and add the visual indication of how much percentage of activity is done. Select this entire range, go to conditional formatting, data bars and apply a green color bar because green indicates progress. Let us quickly adjust it so only the bar information is shown. Make this column narrow and in the next column, just get the previous value. Select this column and apply an icon rule of the tick mark. The default rule doesn't work, so edit it and change the rule so that the green tick is displayed whenever the value is greater than 1 and we will print no cell icon for other rules. So it will show me a tick mark along with the percentage. Finally, make the percentage disappear with that 3 semicolon trick and make this one also narrow. Our Gantt chart is nearly ready. We have got 2 things left to do. Number 1, highlighting the current date and number 2, applying some formatting so that it looks pretty as well. Select this entire range including the dates on the top and apply a new rule to highlight the current date. This rule will be equal to the cell in the row number 3 is equal to today. Notice the style of referencing here. We are always locking it to row number 3 so that it will refer to the values here and apply a format condition to highlight the current day. It will highlight that in a vertical column like this. Go back to conditional formatting and select the rule that is highlighting the today's date and push it down so that we will only see this if there is no activity happening. If it's an activity going on, we will see the activity color there. So we'll get something like this. Let's apply some formatting here. Okay, we finished formatting our Gantt chart. Now let's make it interactive so I can slice it by an individual team. Because all of these numbers come from pivot table, if I add a slicer on my pivot, it will also apply on this data. Into our pivot table and right click on the team, add it as a slicer. Let's cut this slicer and move it to our Gantt chart worksheet. Now if I click on my slicer, it will automatically show me only the activities that are done by that team. Just go down and check if there is any garbage appearing. As you could see, when I slice, some of these dates appear as zeros. So again, we can apply our if formula logic here to prevent that. So that is how you create the interactive Gantt chart. Wendy, can't wait to use that awesome Gantt chart. What about you? What additional features would you add to this Gantt chart? Tell me in the comments section. In part 2 of this series, we will create beautiful project progress charts. If you want another idea for a Gantt chart, check out the video linked on the screen. Now, Wendy and Chandoo, out.